Hello and welcome to the incredibly influential and highly successful podcast. I'm incredibly influential.
And I'm highly successful.
It is Sunday, November 13th, bright and early. It's like 9:30 for us. Can you believe it? We're actually up at a decent time on a Sunday. Can you believe it? I can't.
Well,
Um
y- uh, this is much earlier for me, that's for sure. I did not sleep pretty much at all.
yeah. Yeah. I felt that. Uh I've actually been sleeping okay. Um what sucks is I drink a lot before I sleep for the last few days, and so my bladder just wakes me up at absurdly early hours. Like the sun isn't even up yet, and it sucks.
Yeah,
But
I have those moments too, like sometimes you just drink a whole bunch and then you don't think about it until until later on. It's like 4 a.m. or whatever, you wake up.
hmm
Yeah,
yeah,
because I'm not sure if I ever told you or if I've ever mentioned it, right? But like, remember I have like the fridge in my room? Did I tell you that right?
hmm
A little fridge over there in the corner. I just have it stockpiled with water, so I'll just grab one like every time I enter the water. I also went to Sam's Club and I have like
hmm
8 cases of water just sitting on in front of my fridge,
yeah,
and they're like not even they're like the 40 packs. You know what I mean? 40, 45
mm,
packs. So I'm
mm,
chilling on water here. We're stacked up to the ceiling type of thing. You know what I mean?
yeah, dude. Yeah, yeah. I feel that. I don't really have anything that special. I got a I got a burrito for
Hey,
breakfast.
uh,
Uh,
I'd like to think that it's still nighttime and not breakfast time, but the sunlight coming through my window might say otherwise.
yeah, yeah. I think that's a little bit of a Scooby clue. If you catch my cold.
Yes, like the thing is, for me, I've been pretty much doing homework for the last couple hours.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, I'm all caught up, which is nice. I was starting to maybe work on the following week, this coming up week, right?
Yeah.
But there is one aspect of my homework that I do want to share with you, right?
Oh, I see. Is
Right,
that the thing we discussed that
right.
you sent me
But
in my emails?
but I know that we have a couple things to talk about during this episode, right? So where do you want to begin?
I say out the gate. Let's talk about it. Um, Black Panther 2. How do we feel about it?
Well, I liked the movie. I liked it. Now, I do have to say my movie theater experience was less than great.
Oh yeah.
As you know, I usually go to AMC. Usually have a great time at AMC. I have an AMC membership even. Uh,
Mm-hmm.
so love AMC, right?
AMC of course stands for American Motherfucking Cunts. But
Of
go on.
course, of course, of course. But this weekend I was visiting Jennifer out in Galveston, and they don't have an AMC on Galveston Island, so we would have to drive off the island for about 30 miles. We weren't really feeling that, so we found another theater. The thing about this theater, though, it was a little strange, right? The first thing that I kind of felt like was a little weird is that I bought the tickets online, but they had to print out physical tickets when we got there to give us. That way we
Mm-hmm.
can get into the theater. And I'm just like, well, if you see I already have the tickets, why can't I just use that? You know what I mean? It kind of felt a little like an
Oh, I mean,
extra step there. You know what I mean, right? But that's just me. Whatever.
yeah. I mean, they do that. They did that for me too. But yeah, I mean, they just gave me like a stub, like to use, right?
Yeah, yeah. I don't know. For me, I just thought it was like an extra step because usually when I buy tickets online, they just kind of are like, okay, cool, and then you know, they just let me
Yeah.
be. I don't know that maybe that's the standard. Maybe I'm just privileged AMC. You know how it is.
hmm
The second thing that I noticed, and I noticed this very very early on. in the movie is that I don't know what it was. I don't know if it was the screen. I don't know if it was the projector. I don't know if it was the lights, like the little like dim lights or whatever.
Yeah.
But for some reason, like the lighting in the movie was just so bad in the dark scenes. Like let me tell you,
Mm,
like you know how like whenever you have your phone like out in the sun
yeah.
and then it's like a dark scene and how you can like barely see anything. That's kind
Yes.
of how it looked in a dark theater, and I'm just like, it almost looked like it had a glare on it, but I'm just like, where would it have a glare from? You know what I mean? That's so strange.
Yeah. That does
And
sound like it sucks.
so for like, there was several parts in the movie towards the beginning. Later on in the movie, thankfully there wasn't as much dark scenes. But
Mm-hmm.
all the dark scenes, like I really had to squint to kind of see what was going on, and a lot of times I probably missed a lot of detail. So
Mm-hmm.
I was unhappy with my viewing experience, and maybe I'll go watch it again. I probably will just wait until it comes out on Disney in like several months from now. But it wasn't the greatest. But the movie itself, it's not the movie's fault. It's just the theater's fault, you know.
Yeah. Um.
But
How did you feel about the plot, about like the actual movie itself?
well, I don't follow a lot of the comics or a lot of the stuff like that. I didn't watch any trailers. I try to go pretty blind into it just because that's how I enjoy it. Also, I don't get ads for things most of the time. Just
Mm-hmm.
because I'm sure I've told you I have like the student membership for YouTube Premium, which is like $7. So I don't get ads, and I don't want ads, and I don't want to look up trailers. So it all works out in the end, right? But so I go into the movie. I know that T'Challa is gonna die. And now here's the thing. That's not a spoiler. I would hope
Yeah.
for y'all out there
Chadwick Boseman died
because yes,
in
Chadwick
real
Boseman
life.
he died in real life, right? So I hope that y'all
Yes.
aren't like surprised that he also died in the movie. All right.
Yeah. Because I don't think they had. If they did have anything, it wasn't a lot with him.
Like they could have deep faked him, and let me tell you, that would have that would have been crazy.
That would have
But
been really, really bad. That would have been like, that would have been worse than what they did to Carrie Fisher in Episode 9 of Star Wars. That would have
now
been,
here's the thing, right? I
yeah,
think that deep faking could be a good thing eventually, but I think it's way too soon. You know what I mean?
yeah,
Way too soon for things like that to be happening. But uh so whenever they explained it, it kind of felt like a little bit rushed at the beginning. I was
hmm
kind of like, I wish they kind of elaborated more on how he died and things like that, right?
yeah. They
Because
just
literally
said
the
it was
movie
like
starts and then
an
it's just like,
illness.
and literally like it's just like his heart beats like 30 beats per minute. I'm just like, whoa, nothing, like we're already there. You know what I mean? We haven't like had any preamble.
Wasn't even like a title screen. Not wasn't even like a like logos or anything. It was just boom straight into it, and it was just like a little bit jarring. And all we ever get from it is that he had an illness, and it's like I feel like they totally could have gone more into it, but instead a we just get a uh like one scene where Shuri is trying to all right, I guess we're going into spoilers now. I guess it's gonna be
Okay, yeah.
hard not
Well,
to.
before, yeah, it's very hard to talk about without going into spoilers, right? But
Yeah.
your free thing that you can know is that he dies in the first like 5 minutes of the movie.
Oh yeah. Yeah. All right. So after this, there be spoilers. You've been warned. Um. Yeah. I guess before we get into the spoilers, let's sort of just give like an overall like recommend or do not recommend, and then maybe after we're done talking about it, we can kind of give it a number rating.
Sure.
So what do you think?
I think that as somebody who follows most, if not all, the Marvel stuff, I think that it was a nice movie. Definitely if you like Marvel stuff, you'll probably, I don't know, want to watch this anyways, right? But I thought it was an actual good movie. I thought that, I liked the characters they introduced. I liked the story. Now, I'm not as critical as you, Nick, right? And I'm sure you're gonna have some things to say. Most of my bad experience, like I said, was with the theater though. The
Mm-hmm.
movie I thought was actually pretty good though. So I'd recommend.
Um, I'm just gonna say, I'm just gonna preface my opinion with we are two white dudes, so this movie was not made for us.
I think this movie was made for everybody.
I no, I this was no, no. I do not think this movie was made for me. And yeah, I'm so with that in mind, I don't think it was anything amazing or groundbreaking. I didn't think the first one was anything amazing or groundbreaking. You know, so it's just, eh. I really would have uh like, of course I'm gonna watch it just because I want to. I follow that stuff, but like honestly, I don't think I would have gone to see it otherwise. And yeah, it just, I eh eh you know, I liked Shang Chi more. So if we're if we're comparing movies, I like Shang Chi more, and I think I liked Thor: Love and Thunder less. So we'll just leave that there. But yeah, after this, spoilers. Um yeah. Uh yeah, I will say, how did you feel about like the Marvel, credit or comic book logo thing?
Oh yeah, I like how they kind of like made it a tribute to Chadwick. They had like all like instead of it being like your traditional Marvel intro where they like have a scene from every new thing that's come out, right? The shows, the movies, right? They
Yeah.
were all scenes of Chadwick and his moments in all the movies, right?
Yeah.
Which I thought was a nice little tribute. Also, another thing is that the music wasn't playing; it was like a silent tribute, which I feel like I kind of like too. Now, let me tell you, you know, Jennifer loves talking during movies, and I did not feel like she understood that. Maybe we shouldn't talk during some parts of this movie, just because of the context, right?
Yes. The
Because
gravitas.
it was very silent in the movie theater for a couple parts during the beginning, and let me tell you, I was like Jennifer was trying to say something, and I was like, shh, just like just wait a second, right? Wait until the movie starts, like make like talking or something. You know what I mean? That way, you're not the only person in the entire theater in a silent part of
Yeah.
the movie making noise.
Yeah.
But yeah, I liked it. I thought it was pretty nice. I don't
I
know.
liked that part.
It's a nice tribute.
Um yeah. I think what was your favorite scene?
My favorite scene.
Mhm.
Um, I don't know. I'm trying to think. Like that's the thing. I don't really feel like there was like one moment that was like super like much better than the rest of the movie, I guess. I did like the um oh, I know what. Like so we're good with spoilers, right? 'Cause we're
Yeah. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
yeah, yeah. Um I I liked the big reveal sort of the of this of the underwater city Talokan I think it was called, right?
Yes. Yes.
Now I did like how they portrayed it there, and I did like the artificial sun. You had like this like huge city just kind of all just underneath the sea. I
Mhm.
I like the idea of that. I like the execution of how they made it seem so grandiose, right? Uh, I don't know. I feel like that was probably my favorite kind of like reveal, I suppose, right?
Yeah. I liked I guess if we're saying our favorite parts, definitely, and if we're doing spoilers, again, big spoilers, I loved seeing Killmonger again, dude. I was
That
so
I was
happy
thinking
about
that
that.
too. The Killmonger part was one of my favorites as well because
He was
you
the
know,
best part of the first one, and he's the best part of this one. 100%.
yeah, he's
Amazing scene.
definitely
Very
like I
good.
love how he portrays the character, right? I feel like it was great. It was great. And it was also like a nice surprise too because during that moment when she goes into like the what is it, the celestial plane, is that what it's called, right?
The ancestral plane.
Ancestral, that's what it is. Ancestral plane. Obviously, I feel like just because we know what happened in real life, we're not going to see Chadwick, obviously, right?
Yeah.
So it's one of those things where you're on the edge of your seat, being like, who's it going to be, right?
Yeah, and
The
it wasn't
the
going to be T'Chaka because, like, we barely even saw him.
Well, the mom died too, so I was
Yeah,
thinking that was probably the most likely one, but
I feel like that
whenever
would
I
have been
saw
a cop out.
it wouldn't have been as satisfying, but it wouldn't have not made sense, you know what I mean, right?
Yeah,
But I do like that they decided to kind of throw everybody off, bring back Killmonger, the person that we were probably least expecting, right?
yeah. I with the benefit of hindsight, that's who I should have expected to be there. But like, it was still a fun reveal, and he chewed the scenery as always, because he always does that, because he's Michael B. motherfucking Jordan, like one of the best actors of our time. He's fucking great. Um, yeah, no, he was just awesome, and I don't think the scene would have they would have had to move the scene in the movie for it to have been like Ramonda to give her like a cool pep talk. Because no, that was supposed to be like one of the darkest points in the movie. That was supposed to be like hitting rock bottom, because Ramonda had died, and yeah, um, I do I do think that Disney is a little bit fucked right now, and Marvel Studios as a whole is a little bit fucked right now because obviously Chadwick Boseman passed away under really sad circumstances, um, and but they got rid of Gina Carano from Star Wars. I know you probably don't follow that, but uh
Uh, oh, you're talking
yeah,
about Star Wars stuff. Okay, I
yeah.
see.
So Gina Carano was in The Mandalorian. She was set to be like she had like her own show lined up, but she started saying a bunch of like really horrible shit on Twitter. She was saying like uh I think the final straw that made Disney cut ties with her was she compared wearing masks to the Holocaust. And obviously that's just fucked up beyond belief. So Star Wars fucking got rid of her. I think they're gonna kill her off screen or something.
You
Um
know, I Here's the thing. As much as I feel like I want an actor to play a role, it kind of makes sense. You know what I mean? Like it's not really justifiable, probably just from what you're telling me what she did, right? I'm like, it's hard to see
yeah.
her side. You know what I mean? It's easier to side over with Disney over here.
Oh yeah, 100%. And then
Now, like
but
with the what's it called with the Johnny Depp situation, it's a little bit different, right? Because I know that with Johnny Depp, uh, a lot of it was like accusations, right?
oh, I wasn't even going to Johnny Depp. I wasn't even going to talk about that. I was going to talk about so how familiar are you with what Letitia Wright was doing on the Black Panther 2 set?
I'm not very good with names,
Shuri.
unfortunately.
Shuri's actress. The
Oh,
actress for
okay,
Shuri. Yeah.
okay. Again, not very
Um
good with names.
the main fucking Jesus Christ,
This
dude.
is this is embarrassing, isn't it?
It is. You should be embarrassed.
Good thing
The
I'm.
main fucking character.
See, now you got me. Now I'm back in. uh,
Jesus Christ.
I thought she did fine. I don't like what are you going to say about her?
So Letitia Wright has said some pretty controversial things. Nothing as bad as what Gina Carano said, but some pretty like fucked up shit. Some transphobic stuff, and then some like anti-vax stuff, and she was like talking about it on set, and she actually fired her US team of like PR people, and quit Twitter. She came back just to say that she totally didn't say any anti-vax stuff, but I'm pretty sure she did. And
I feel like the easy solution is just always to quit Twitter. You know what I mean, right?
yeah, so
Just
she
get
she
off of Twitter if you have an opinion. I feel like.
oh yeah, it's going down the shitter, and we'll talk about that later because it's hilarious. But yeah, no, it's yeah. So but she was saying like anti-vax shit, and of course they were filming during COVID, so like this was really during the like really bad part of COVID. Um, but like she was saying like anti-vax shit, and it's just like and I feel like what with Chadwick Boseman's like passing away, he was a much more uncontroversial figure, and um but like in obviously in this movie they killed off Ramonda, and they killed off T'Challa, so now they're really stuck with Shuri, and obviously they can't kill her off either because uh Black Panther is like this like huge cultural phenomenon where like
They could
uh
always, like, worst case scenario, just recast. You know, they don't they haven't recast. I don't think for anything in the past besides what I can think is like Hulk.
uh
But
they recast Rhodey. Rhodey was Terrence Howard in the original Iron Man, and now he's Don Cheadle. I
yeah,
say that's a big upgrade. Don Cheadle is great. I would honestly, if Don Cheadle wanted to marry me, I would say yes. Fucking love Don Cheadle. God
yeah,
bless.
but like that wasn't as
Yeah,
I don't
they
know. It's like
lampshaded it a little bit.
it's like for a big role like this, there hasn't really been a recast that I can think like
Yeah, except Hulk.
except for Hulk, right?
Yeah.
So like that's like worst case scenario. Again, I guess we'll see how it unfolds, and
Yeah.
if it really becomes an issue too big that Disney, thinks that it's gonna be an issue. But
Yeah.
interesting to see. Interesting to see.
But like Black Panther was huge for them. It was huge for like the culture, and like for all of like American culture, for like African American culture, cuz he was the first real like African superhero, right? Cuz Steel was like going all the way back to Steel. Steel was played by Shaquille O'Neal, but like this is like absolutely like him being black and him being like from Africa is like core to his identity, where in Steel it really wasn't. And also Steel was a terrible movie, but like Black Panther, obviously it was very important and stuff, but like they physically could not kill off Shuri as the Black Panther now.
No,
They
I
literally couldn't.
think that they did a good job of kind of writing around all the circumstances that happened with his passing and all that, right?
Yeah.
But I don't think that they could do it again if they had to replace actors or if they had
Yeah.
to lose an actor, right?
Yeah.
But I think that they did a good job of doing it, like again for Chadwick. The only thing, like I said, that I was bothered by or that I wanted more of was kind of like a little bit of how they got to that moment, right?
Yeah, like can we please hear something more than an illness? That's all I wanted. Honestly, if they wanted to, I think it would be really interesting if maybe well, obviously they couldn't work with Chadwick on that, but one of the most uh touching um like Marvel stories was Nova got cancer. One of the Marvel superheroes, Jesus, I cannot talk. Um, got cancer. I'm pretty sure it was the original Nova, or maybe it was Captain. Fuck, I cannot remember. but it was a really big it was a really big deal, and it was really really sad when it happened. I think it was the original Captain Marvel, but I'm not sure. But it was really really, yeah. Uh, I'm pretty sure. I see. I'm saying that it's like super influential, but
Incredibly
yeah,
influential.
yeah, yeah. I would like to say that it was, but like obviously I'm not. I don't remember it. Yes, it was Captain Marvel, and it was a really really big deal when he actually just straight up just got cancer and passed away. And you know, like they very much could have like done something with that, but obviously Jane Foster and got cancer and died in Thor: Love and Thunder, so maybe they didn't want to tread that ground again. But it's just like, you know, they could have done more with it. But I feel like exploring how people like reacted to his death with the meta context of like Chadwick Boseman really did pass away, and this is how the actors really felt about it. Like they really did feel like they lost like a friend and like a really influential figure, because he was like the first real black superhero, you know. So I understand sort of why they went with what they did. Now, to move away from the really sad stuff and to move towards something else, how do you feel about Namor's origin?
Namor. Again, not very.
Jesus fucking Christ, the
I
villain, the
okay, okay,
villain of the movie.
okay. I thought his name was Tolakan. Is that not what his name was? I thought.
No, so no, his name is Namor. Namor the Submariner. He's like one of the biggest figures in Marvel Comics, and they all right. So a little bit
No,
of background.
Kuku Khan or something like that. Kuku Khan.
No, that's his title,
That's his.
apparently.
Okay, well, that's
Okay,
like. Are they? Okay. I got. Maybe I'm
all
confused.
right, all right. We need to have an ad break here just because I'm about to have a fucking stroke because this man cannot remember names to save his life.
I'm not a name guy. I'm a face guy. I'm
Well,
not very.
I can't say his face, okay? I cannot say his motherfucking face, okay? But yeah, we're gonna do a quick little ad break so I can regain my composure because I'm about to have a fucking aneurysm. Yeah, thank you. Stay tuned. This episode has been generously sponsored by skunknuggetparenting.com, run by my own talented mother. Parenting is hard. Sometimes kids and parents are like night and day. It can be very hard to get on the same page with them, and a lot of parents have anxiety that maybe they're doing it all wrong. Luckily, there is a service out there that can help. Skunk Nugget Parenting Solutions is a company that provides parent coaching services, resource referrals, and psychological profiling, along with 24/7 phone and text access in an all virtual program. Plus, the first consultation is free. In order to get this amazing service, please visit skunknuggetparenting.com. That is skunknuggetparenting.com. Thank you to Skunk Nugget Parenting Solutions for sponsoring this episode. Thank you all for listening. And now, back to the podcast.
Hello, hello.
Hi everyone. Welcome back. Um, I feel a little bit better now. Um,
Do
but
you? Do you
also,
really?
no, not at all. I'm furious. But
There
name
were there were a couple different reveals in the movie. A couple different like new characters that will probably be seen in the future. Now,
yes,
the villain of the movie, Namor. I think that's what you said.
yes. Well,
Uh,
um, now I'm gonna reveal something to you,
sure.
but Namor is actually he's very similar to Aquaman, right? But
Yeah. I suppose I don't know a lot about the DC stuff, but I know
So the
Aquaman's the water guy, so in that way, yeah, they're similar, very similar.
so uh so obviously to those of you in the know, you know that they actually changed Namor's backstory quite a bit for this movie. Uh Namor but first of all, so Namor and Aquaman are basically the same character. Um there was a lot of characters where like Marvel and DC were sort of like ripping each other off basically. But actually, Namor came first. Namor was first publicly revealed in 1939. Aquaman came out in 1941. But Aquaman has basically Namor's same backstory. But because Namor, his film rights were sort of in limbo, sort of with, I think he was with the Fantastic Four. He was either with the Fantastic Four or the X Men, but they just recently got the rights back. Um, but obviously, DC's had Aquaman in their movies multiple times. He was in Justice League and he had his own movie. So Marvel went with a different backstory for Namor to distance himself from that whole from Aquaman. Um, but he's originally from Atlantis, and he's
Oh, so it's like literally like the exact.
literally the exact same thing.
Huh. That
Uh,
is that is curious, isn't it?
mhm. I don't think he normally uses a trident, though. I think that is Aquaman's thing. But they both have stupid costumes. Um,
I feel like they kind of like explained it as like what is it, like traditional, like what
oh,
was
I
it,
meant in the comics.
Spaniard?
I,
Oh, in
I
the
I meant in the
comics.
comics. Yeah.
I, I,
Um,
I was gonna say like a costume in the movie I thought was fine. I was like,
I don't know why he was walking around in fucking boxer briefs all the time. Like,
I guess that's just how they do it. You know what I mean? I don't know.
yeah. So apparently he was Mayan in the
Mayan, that's what it
1500s.
was. Yes.
Um, in the 1500s. I know Jennifer is part Mayan. I told her about that when I told you guys to go see the movie. I told her, oh, if you're Mayan, you might actually be into it. But yeah, he's Yucatec Mayan, and obviously the Mayan people didn't die out, like they weren't extinct, but uh like the Mayan Empire sort of like disappeared pretty much, and so uh, uh, theoretically he could have been Mayan if he was born in like the 1500s. Um, but like it wouldn't be like the Mayan Empire. They should have been probably a little bit more. I think the costumes and stuff were a little bit anachronistic, but literally they fucking grew gills. Okay, they breathe fucking water. I really shouldn't be nitpicking like historicity and shit, but um yeah, it was a little weird to see him be like Mayan and shit, but it was really cool to kind of see like traditional like Mayan stuff because I'm actually a bit of a uh um like a ever since I was a kid I've been into like Mayan stuff. I've been to the ruins of Tulum in the Yucatan, and it's yeah, it's really cool to me. So it was really cool to see it. They even mentioned what's Chak, the Mayan rain god, and he's really cool. It was cool to hear like a name drop from him. He's basically the Mayan version of Thor, except he uses an axe instead of a hammer.
I am interested to see if because I have seen like there's a lot of like different like games and movies and stuff coming out of
Mm-hmm.
like there's a Norse mythology has been a big one with Thor being being kind of like a thing, and then Loki and all that,
And God of
and
War
God of War
Ragnarok.
also is
Yeah.
doing the whole Norse
Norse
thing.
gods. Hmm.
Greek has always been a real big one. I know they're bringing it back inside of the Marvel universe with Hercules. If y'all watched Love and Thunder, right?
Yeah, and Wonder
Um,
Woman obviously had that as well.
but I think that it's very interesting to hear about these like the ones that I know a little bit less, maybe ones other people know a little bit less, right? Like
Hmm.
uh I know that the Mayans are obviously one of them, right? But there's like Chinese mythology, all these like ones that you don't really hear about as much. It'd be cool for them to kind of get more of their stories to be told, right?
Yeah, I would be down for that. And I making Atlantis Mayan, just making like a Mayan Atlantis. It's whatever, you know. Like I don't really mind, I guess.
Atlantis was
Um,
one of those things I've never really, I don't know, I never really saw the appeal of it. I thought it was all right. I was never as excited about it as I was with other things. You know what I mean?
yeah, yeah. Um, I guess I just I don't know. How do you think the actor playing Namor did? Because this is actually I think his like first like debut role in like a big movie. You know?
I liked it. I thought that it was good. I don't see anything wrong with it.
Yeah, I think he did uh a pretty good job doing a like being in one of the well they said introducing him, right? I guess he's done like other like movies and shit, but like this is like his real blockbuster cuz like the only thing he's done other than this that could be considered like a big like blockbuster movie was The Forever Purge. He was in that. Um and that was pretty cool. But I think he did a really good job playing um Namor in this one. I always thought it was weird that Namor in the comics would be in the Illuminati because it's like I guess because he's like a world leader, but like he just never seemed like one of the most smartest or most powerful people in the world. I never knew why he would be on the Illuminati. Um,
Like in the comics or in the movie? Like what are
in
we?
in the comics, but if we do get an Illuminati in the Marvel Cinematic Universe, they'll probably put him on there. And
Yeah, I would think so, but I don't know if
yeah,
Illuminati is something that they want to incorporate in the Marvel universe. To be honest.
well they already showed us one version of the Illuminati with
Oh yeah, yeah, you're right. In Multiverse of
Multiverse of
Madness.
Madness. Hmm.
Yeah, I did forget about that. I
Yeah,
suppose they could just introduce it. It's not out of the question.
I mean, if all right, if Captain America's on the Illuminati, which he is in the comics, you know, he's not all that smart, he's not all that bright, and he's not a world leader. I think they just picked him because he's like the face, but like, yeah, I don't know why Namor would be on it in the comics, and I don't see why he would be on there in the MCU. He like I guess just because Talokan is apparently like more powerful than Wakanda, which doesn't really make a lot of sense. But Wakanda shouldn't be like they've got tech, but like they shouldn't have that strong of an army because it's like geographically a pretty small country. So it's just like, how? But I mean,
What?
I
What's a small country? You're talking about Wakanda?
yeah, like it is a physically small country. Uh, like less than like the size of like Illinois or whatever. It's not that large of a like physically large of a country, and I don't think they have that many people. So it's like their only big strength is their technology, and I guess Talakan has numbers because like they've been
Well, they
underwater for 500
also
years.
they also have discovered vibranium too, which is kind
That
of the
is
thing.
true.
Is it that's the big difference, right? Because Wakanda has the technology advantage, which makes up for the number advantage that other countries have. But Talokan
Hmm.
has numbers and they also have the same technology, right? Which
Well,
kind
they
of
don't have guns. They don't
n-
have guns, and
no, but neither does
Wakanda should.
Wakanda.
Uh, and they definitely should have guns. Like there's a reason why we switched to
You know,
guns.
it's crazy that the two most advanced civilizations, like in the world, according to this movie, both are just very traditional cultures that just don't believe in guns. You know,
Yeah,
I
they just
find that
use
very
spears and
hard to
shit,
believe, right? But
and it's like, you know, there's a reason why every single country has switched to using guns now, because it's almost like shooting someone from like half a kilometer away is way more safe for the user than trying to stab them with a fucking magic spear. You know? Uh, yeah,
but they go through the great lengths to really sell us on these spears, though, man. Let me tell you,
yeah,
like
yeah.
they're cool looking spears. You know what I mean?
All right. Speaking of technology, how did we feel about Riri Williams, aka Ironheart? How do we feel about her?
Now, I actually I've heard a lot of talk about the Young Avengers for a long time, right? And I did know that I did know about Ironheart.
Mm-hmm.
And at first, whenever she was introduced into the movie, I didn't really think much of it because, again, I I didn't really think that she would turn into a bigger character, right?
Mm-hmm.
Again, because I don't know a lot about the comics and stuff. You probably knew from Frame One or whatever, right? But once I saw like the reveal in the not at the end, but in like the laboratory, her
Yeah,
little warehouse thing, it all kind of started clicking in my head. I was like, oh, okay, that's who this is, right? And
yeah,
I thought, her character is interesting. Another one of those, just young genius kind of type of characters, right?
yeah. I
Which, there's a lot of them nowadays, so it's not as unique anymore, but
yeah. I thought she was a little bit I didn't like how much comic relief she got. I felt she was a little grating at times, honestly.
I
And I
feel
hope
like with a lot of young characters, that's kind of how they portray them, right?
I don't
Uh,
know. I didn't think
Not all the young characters, but like a lot of the
yeah.
young characters kind of get that treatment. You know what I mean? Where they're just like,
Yeah. Shuri didn't get that in some of the older movies, and she was sort of I do like the whole idea of like Shuri being like a mentor, like I was you, but like different, and like now I'm older and wiser and shit. I do like that sort of relationship that Shuri has with uh, Riri, but I am I just did not like, maybe it was her writing or maybe it was the performance, but I just it grated on me a little bit. And a lot of these like young Avenger characters and shit that we're getting, I have not uh like felt a lot of like dislike towards. But yeah, I just could not get into it. Hopefully by her own movie, because I think they canceled the show and turned it into a movie. Hopefully she gets maybe a better script and maybe a better director. But yeah, I just don't think Coogler or the screenwriters or um something happened there, and I just could not vibe with her. But like I totally vibed with Miss Marvel and Kate Bishop's Hawkeye. Thought they were great. Thought they were utterly fantastic. I just could not vibe with
there's also
uh
the
Ironheart.
what's it called? The reveal in She-Hulk. I know that we didn't talk about it because I didn't finish it at the same time that you did. But
Yeah.
that like last minute reveal with the Hulk and his son, I kind of was kind of
Yeah.
thrown very much by that. I was like, that kind of came out of nowhere and it didn't really amount to anything in the moment, right? But I'm interested to see about more about that character because they just kind of teased it and didn't really say anything, you know?
I would have liked to have had a show about both Hulks where it was like
Yeah, but I can kind of see how they wanted to just have the new Hulk kind of just have her own thing.
Yeah, but like I would have loved to have seen like
They had
we
an
got
episode together, so we got a little bit, but yeah, I see what you're
yeah,
saying.
but we got screwed out of a Planet Hulk movie, and we got screwed out of this, and it's just like you've squandered the two best Hulk storylines. What the fuck are you gonna do with him? You know, they just
And like that last episode of She-Hulk was also just a
it
lot
was
more than I was
something.
expecting.
It was a little bit. It was a little bit meta. Uh,
Yeah, it was very meta. I she was just going through the Disney Plus menu. She was
yeah,
talking about the X-Men. I think one point on the not the season finale, but the one before the season finale, she was talking about the Red Hulk for a little bit.
she.
She
Oh,
like she like mentioned it like very in passing.
well, all right. That was something I was gonna say before when we were talking about people being recasted because of people passing away. That actually did happen, but we'll go back to that later. But like, yeah, she literally met a robot named Kevin, aka Kevin fucking Feige, and it was super meta, and I feel like I think you either loved that finale or you hated that finale. I don't think there was any like in between. I thought it was really I thought it was funny. But yeah, speaking of Red Hulk, William Hurt, aka who was playing Thaddeus Ross in the earlier Marvel movies, from Incredible Hulk onwards, he actually passed away within the last year or so as well. So they have replaced him with Harrison Ford. So Han Solo is going to be in the MCU, and um,
I also got a what's it called? Like a little article on my phone, right?
mm-hmm,
And I don't know a lot about this except for the the title of the article. But I also
mm-hmm.
heard that Aubrey Plaza is gonna be cast in some new Disney Marvel thing.
She's gonna be the villain in Agatha Harkness's show.
Okay, because like I don't know a lot about like the things that are coming out in the future until like pretty much as soon as they come out or like a week or two before, right?
Mm-hmm.
But Agatha, again, because I'm bad at names, is the one from WandaVision, I think.
Yes,
Okay,
yes.
okay,
It's
yes,
been
yes.
Agatha all along. That one.
It's been Agatha all along. Now, remind me what that's supposed to mean.
Do you not remember the song from WandaVision? That utter fucking banger? Where she revealed that she was the villain the whole time. She killed the dog. She fucking brought back Ralph Boner. Jesus Christ, dude.
I,
Fucking keep up.
I like, hey man, after like watching something, I don't remember all the details. You know what I mean? That's just how it
If
happens.
there was one thing to remember from WandaVision, it was the Agatha All Along song, dude. Straight up. Also, the fact that my boy Wiccan is now officially in the fucking MCU. I I'm so fucking excited for them to like age him up or whatever. And like when they do the Young Avengers, because he's my favorite member of the Young Avengers, Wiccan. He's great. Love him. Um
Is
I
there
just
like a
wish they'd
Young Avenger version of like most of the superheroes? Is that how it just works? Because I know that like Captain America isn't a young Avenger. He's just he's just
he's
Falcon,
going to be
but
like an
now he's Captain
actual
America.
Avenger. Yeah.
Yeah, you know what I mean? Like so now we have so the Avengers are still a thing. But
Yeah.
now there's just the Young Avengers. Okay, I thought that they were just gonna replace the Avengers with the Young Avengers.
Mhm.
Okay, okay. That's where I think that's where I was getting confused there. But
Yeah.
interesting, interesting.
Um but yeah, so uh yeah, I basically all the Young Avengers are I guess knockoffs of the originals. So There is Hulkling.
Is
Uh,
that the character that got introduced?
no, the Hulkling is different. Actually, he is he's a Kree and a Skrull mixed together. If you remember them from Captain Marvel, which you probably don't.
You know, wait, okay. I know one of those. Wait, what's the difference between a Kree and a scroll? Now I'm getting confused.
Kree are like Ronin from uh, Guardians of the Galaxy 1. Skrulls are the shapeshifters.
So, okay, I think scrolls are the ones that I'm thinking of right now. I don't think
Yeah.
I remember Kree. If
So
I'm
Skrulls are normally evil. They're there's one Skrull who has all the powers of the Fantastic Four called the Super Skrull, and he's pretty cool. I was kind of sad that he hasn't shown up yet, but I hope he does. I hope he does. I love him. Super Skrull's awesome. But yeah, so in the Young Avengers, there's like Wiccan, who is like Wiccan and Speed, aka I forget their Billy and Tommy are they're Wanda's kids. Uh, Billy has her powers. Speed or Tommy slash Speed has her brother's powers. Hulkling is there. Iron Lad. Uh, there's a young version of there's Kid Loki. There's young Hawkeye. America Chavez is in it, so she's gonna get her own. She's gonna be in there, I guess. Maybe
you
Miss
know,
Marvel. I don't even know. Oh yeah, Eli Bradley. So do you remember from Falcon and the Winter Soldier? Uh,
here's the thing, right? I feel like the the Marvel universe is 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 expanding so much so rapidly that
mm-hmm.
I'm gonna lose track, or if I haven't already lost track of a lot of these like loose ends that we need to remember for every future movie.
Do you remember the old Captain America from Falcon and Winter Soldier? Who was like the old one? He was black. Uh, Isaiah Bradley and
Oh, you're talking
Falcon and
about
Winter
like
Soldier.
the
Yeah,
he was like
his grandson is Patriot, and Patriot is in the Young Avengers. So he's going to be in the Young Avengers, probably. Miss Marvel will be Kate Bishop. Yeah, all of them. They're starting a new Young Avengers. I don't know if Peter is going to be in them or if he's going to be in the normal Avengers. I think
Peter Parker.
no fucking Peter Gabriel, the musician. Of course, Peter fucking Parker. You son of a
Peter
bitch.
Dinklage.
God, I wish, dude. I mean, he was already in the X-Men franchise, but God, I wish Peter Dinklage was in these movies. Peter Dinklage is the tits. God, I love him. Um, but yeah, I wonder how they're gonna handle Spider-Man. But yeah, I mean, I guess it just remains to be seen. But like the event, I I don't understand how they're going to tie in uh uh Valentina Allegra De Fontaine, whatever her fucking name is now. Uh uh we got a reveal on from her in Black Panther that she was married to Bilbo Baggins. That was pretty cool. You know,
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
yeah. So she used to be married to him, but like I don't know how she is going to tie into I'm pretty sure she's going to be the villain in Captain America New World Order, but I don't know how they're going to tie in sort of Captain America's whole shit with like all the multiverse shit, right? Because their show had nothing to do with any of that. So I just wonder how Captain America is going to tie into any of that shit. Um, yeah, I don't know. I just am worried about how they're going to tie it all together. But apparently, we're getting two Avengers movies in the same year. We're not even going like a year apart like we did with Endgame and Infinity War. But yeah. Yeah.
Hey man, I'm excited for the future of like the Marvel franchise, you know. Excited, excited, excited. How much time do we have left?
About. I'd say we have about 10 minutes before we hit the button.
All right, all right, all right. Do we want to keep anything else to say about Black Panther? You know, any closing remarks, thoughts? You know, because there's that little thing that I wanted to add in at the end here.
Um. Oh yeah, yeah. Forgot about that. No. I guess I would give it like a 6.5 out of 10. Probably closer to a 6 than a 7.
Closer to a 6 and a 7.
Yeah. What about you?
Um, I'd probably say, as somebody who's not quite as difficult to please, I would say, maybe like 7.5 to 8.5, somewhere around there. I thought it was pretty decent. But like I
Mm-hmm.
said, I don't really have a lot of pre-existing knowledge to judge it off of, right? Because I feel like if you're a hardcore like comic book guy, or you're a hardcore like you know like lore guy,
Mm-hmm.
you're gonna there's gonna be something to pick apart, right? There
Mm-hmm.
always is, and I'm just enjoying it for what it is. I thought it was an alright movie. It was an alright story, alright continuation. Like I said, I had a couple gripes about it, but overall, pretty good, pretty good, pretty good. hmm
All right. Yeah.
Yes.
Let's.
So my little thing that I wanted to talk to you about, Nick, right?
Yeah. Just do like a quick recap for everyone.
So prior to this, like immediately prior to this recording here, I was doing some homework,
Mm-hmm.
right? Because I started a new class about 2 weeks ago. Started a couple of new classes, but the class that I want to talk about is my art class because I'm a STEM major, but I needed some sort of creative arts credit, right? So I was like, let's try an art like an art class, right? Technically, it's art appreciation, right? But
Mm-hmm.
still,
Yeah. I took that too.
So I'm taking my art appreciation class, right?
Mm-hmm.
And the way that he has it laid out, right, is that there is a journal and there is an assignment, right? You do one
Mm-hmm.
each week. The journals are pretty simple. They're usually just things like pick a piece of art, analyze it, answer these questions, and that's it's pretty easy, simple.
Mm-hmm.
One done. But the assignments are a little different. He has like a list of assignments and he says, pick whatever assignment you want from this list. You can even choose multiple assignments from this list. Or if you have an idea, you can give it to me and I can tell you if you can do it as a substitution for any of these assignments on this list, right? So there's a lot of
Mm-hmm.
freedom, right, to how you want to do the assignments, right?
Yeah.
Because he has like 5 or 6 there. And like I said, you can do multiple of the same assignment, you can do one of each assignment, or you could just submit an assignment that you think is cool and he'll just let you if it's a good idea, right?
Yeah.
In theory, I could just say, "Hey, professor, I want to do a podcast about all of the Greek art in the world." And if he said yes, I could just submit this podcast for a grade. In theory, I don't I don't know about the logistics of that, but you
I
might
mean,
might have to tone down your swearing a little bit. You know what I mean?
oh
But
Lord. I didn't know I was getting roped into this. Hang on. Hang
wait, you
on.
you could get roped into this if like I said. But the point is, it's a lot of freedom. The assignment that I've been doing out of the list of assignments that he has for us, though, is a pixel art assignment, right? And
Mm-hmm.
there's a pixel art program, and there's like pretty much you have to answer like a prompt. No, you have to answer like a paragraph about your artwork and all that.
Yeah.
So, and all the other assignments that are offered there are like reviewing a website or reviewing a book or things like that, right? This
Mm-hmm.
is the only one that's like actually like a creation of art instead of a reviewing of art, right?
Okay, so what is it that you've sent me?
So I've sent you two assignments, my first assignment and my second assignment, because
Okay.
I've been in the class for 2 weeks, and I want you to tell me what you think about art. And again, I know that this is like an audio thing, but I just I thought that I wanted to share this with you,
Okay.
so
All right. All right. I'm about to open number 1, okay? So this is on my phone, so it might not be the best thing. Should I open it on my computer?
it might format weird on the phone if you might have to put it in print
Yeah, it
mode
did.
if you put it on
It
the phone. Yeah, go
it did.
click the button and go to print mode, and it should show you the how it actually is supposed to look.
Yeah. Hang on, just give me a second. I will
Yes,
crack it open on my computer. Okay.
and you can tell me what you think about my art, and I guess you could also read the paragraphs and stuff too if you want. But
Wow. Okay. All right.
I again, you have to understand there's a pixel limitation, right? So you gotta chill
Mm-hmm.
with judgment. If that's what you're wanting to
Do I
judge
have
people.
to chill with the judgment? Do I have to?
You don't have to, but I think I would
Cause
appreciate it if you chilled a little bit with the judgment
judgment
here.
is sort of my forte.
Is
If
it? Is that
if
your
there's
thing?
if
I
there's
thought.
one thing in the world that I would consider myself good at, it's judgment. I love judgment. Uh
All right. Well, tell the audience what you see.
so in the first one, it is sort of a self-portrait of when you had pink hair, which personally I think you should not go back to.
No, I'm thinking about doing a different color next time.
I don't think you should do it at all, but okay. And then you definitely gave yourself a bit stronger of a jawline than you actually have.
I wait. Let me pull this up. I wanna. Let me enjoy this while you're enjoying it as well, right?
Yeah, yeah, you definitely strengthened your jawline. You got your eyebrows wrong. Like they're just like in the wrong position. So
Well,
like the
yeah.
look is wrong.
You have to understand. There's a little bit of creative liberties that I took
Yeah,
to
also you
format
weren't
this.
blonde in that one. Okay. Now let's move on to this one.
No,
Cuz
no.
I think this one
There's
is
a
a
no,
is
no.
a
Look,
much
there is a like this first image, right?
mhm.
I I I I understand you're being a little hypercritical. Again, this is pixel art, right? So
I
I
am always hypercritical of
you have to
everything. You should
understand,
understand that by now.
right? That I was trying my best to like do a one-to-one sort of recreation,
Mhm. You
and
don't even have a nose hole.
that was one of the things I noticed after I finished it is that I did kind of just outline the nose, and I didn't like give a lot of definition to the nose like I did to like the
And your
jawline and all that.
your ears are all fucked up too.
The ears were a difficult part for me, okay? I admit the ears it was difficulties.
You just draw 4 little compartments and that's it. It's easy.
Difficult, difficult. Now the week 2 one is the one I just finished like literally right before I messaged you.
Now this is very accurate. So basically, this
Oh,
uh this portrait here is sort of what you do instead of showing up to the podcast.
oh,
And
so
I
did you read it?
yeah, I did. So basically, it's a picture of him sitting at his fucking or not him sitting at his desk, but his desk with his TV attached to it and his little Xbox hooked up
I
to it.
I was going to put myself in the chair, but I was like that I was not going to be able to figure out the perspective and how to make myself look good in that low resolution. So
Yeah, and I
I
mean,
decided not to.
and you can't really see yourself from that angle because
Yeah,
like you'd
exactly.
have to be outside of your body, and usually you'd have to be on some hard psychedelics for that. So I understand, but also, yeah, this is totally what you do all day instead of being on this podcast, which is just great to know. Uh, but yeah, I
I feel
guess
like, maybe sometime in the future here, right? whenever we're doing these like more visual segments, we might want to put like some reference images like on our social media or something.
Yeah. All right. You can post those since you've got the image of them. You can post those onto Twitter
Yeah,
on
should I
Tuesday.
just should I post the whole assignment?
Yeah, might as well.
Might
Honestly,
as well
why
just make it
not?
into. I have to format it to a PDF, but I probably could do that.
Yeah. Or just take a fucking screen cap of it, dumbass.
I didn't think about that. I don't know. I suppose I could do that, but I have to
Whatever.
zoom out.
I'll fucking
Ah,
figure it out.
so
Fucking.
difficult.
You're the one who wants the fucking visual thing on there. You gotta
I
put
just
it on there.
I appreciate the audience experience, you know.
Fuck off. Shut up. Do you want to do a big red button?
Sure, why not?
I I I don't know why I asked that. We were gonna do it anyway.
I thought I had a choice for a second. That's crazy.
Oh fuck no! You don't have a choice. Fuck you. No. Fuck off. All right. So if you press this button, you have the ability to read minds, but
But
the only things you can hear are people's negative thoughts about you. Would you press that button? And
so
why?
I can read minds.
Yes, but the
But
only things you get are people's negative thoughts about you. So you can only read that specific thoughts.
now, like, do I just hear their subconscious negative thoughts, or do they have to consciously be thinking negative thoughts for me to hear it? You know what I mean?
I would say both. I would say both, and you
Because
could probably tell the difference.
yeah, because I feel like if I heard somebody subconsciously have negative thoughts about me, I feel like it wouldn't be as bad because
Mm-hmm.
I would be like, oh, that's just in the back of their mind, right? But if they're like
Mm-hmm.
consciously thinking bad things about me, like in front of me,
Yeah.
then I'm like, it's a little bit stranger. You're like, I don't know.
See, the
And
best
also,
part about this is if you used it on me, you wouldn't hear anything that I don't already say to you. Because you're a little
yeah,
bitch.
you
Yeah.
know, I I'm trying to think when this would be used. I guess, yeah. I don't see why not. I feel
Yeah.
like it'd be nice, especially like let's say you don't have like the greatest communication with somebody, or
Yeah.
like let's say like a coworker, a boss, a girlfriend, whatever, right? You just hear their little thoughts about you,
Yeah.
and you know, sure, you're maybe not always gonna hear what you want to hear, but you can at least
Yeah.
know,
I think
right?
it's a
Like
good.
for example, uh,
Yeah.
yeah, like if your like boss is like, man, they're always doing this or they're always doing that or things like that, you're able to kind of like readjust what you're
That's
gonna.
that. That's where
That's
I
what.
was with it.
Yeah,
Yeah.
That's what I was kind of thinking.
And then I was thinking probably you could probably use it to your own advantage because like if you think someone's like underestimating you, that means they're a lot easier to like pull the wool over and like you know you can get that advantage over them because if you know all the negative things they're thinking about you, I feel like there's just ways that you could take advantage of it. But yeah, I was on the whole like yeah you can readjust your like behavior and shit to like do better in front of them and like yeah, but like at the same time you can also just hear like is someone being fake to me, right? Like is someone only like using me for like their own gain and stuff? Like are they just pretending to like me? So I think you could use it to like sort of weed out the good friends and the bad friends. um yeah, I think there's like a lot of uses for it, and like of course you would want to hear all the positive thoughts and stuff, but I would say from a practical perspective, learning what people don't like is probably better. And I think that's
Yeah,
where we should leave it.
exactly. You can improve yourself. You can get rid of the people that might just be using you. I don't know. And the thing is, because it's not. The thing is, you're not forced to read minds, though, right? Because it's like an ability. You know,
Yeah, I guess yeah, and if you can turn it on and off, but like
if you
yeah.
turn it on, because that's always one of those things, right? It's like it always can become really bad You know,
Mm-hmm.
if you just don't have control over it, right? Because
Yeah.
instantly it almost becomes like, do you always want to hear negative things about you, or
Yeah.
only whenever you want to? You know what I'm trying to say?
I guess that's like the deciding factor. But yeah. I I don't think I have anything else to say to you.
I think that was a good episode. Good on us.
Yeah.
We did it. Woo.
Yeah. Thank you guys for listening. I want to thank Justin Connor for being a patron. Thank you for helping us be able to put this out. We really appreciate it. If you want to help us out, it's patreon.com/IIHS podcast. On Twitter and Instagram, we are at IIHS podcast. Yeah, thank you very much for listening. I've been incredibly influential,
And I've been highly successful.
and we'll catch you guys next week. Bye bye.